Have you ever wondered how ancient Rome's greatest emperor became its worst? How a beloved leader turned from hero to despised tyrant? How a series of seemingly insignificant events plunged the empire into darkness? Today, we delve into the scandalous fall of the mighty Augustus, uncovering the hidden factors that transformed him from a celebrated leader to the object of curses. In the year 70 AD, a fire erupted in the heart of Rome, tearing through the city's bustling streets and leaving a scar that would last for centuries. This catastrophe would expose the vulnerabilities of a seemingly invincible empire, laying bare the cracks that threatened to tear it apart. As flames engulfed the city, Romans watched in horror as their homes, businesses, and cherished landmarks turned to ash. The true cause of the disaster remained shrouded in mystery, fueling rumors and speculation that would only deepen the city's woes. Fingers pointed towards the emperor's wife, Poppaea Sabina, known for her extravagant lifestyle and alleged involvement in a series of mysterious deaths. Accusations swirled, but without concrete evidence, the blame remained a contentious issue, further destabilizing the already fragile empire. Amidst the ruins, discontent began to brew. Citizens questioned the emperor's response to the tragedy, wondering if he could effectively lead them out of such devastating crises. Whispers of discontent grew louder, igniting a wave of resentment that would undermine Nero's authority. Little did Nero know that this catastrophe would be the catalyst for a chain of events that would ultimately seal his fate as one of Rome's most reviled emperors. As the smoke cleared and the city began to rebuild, the scars of the fire ran deep. The economic impact was staggering, crippling the city's once thriving economy and leaving many citizens destitute. The fire also exposed the stark contrast between the opulence of the elite and the desperation of the impoverished masses. Nero's extravagance seemed out of touch, deepening the divide between him and his disillusioned subjects. In the aftermath of the disaster, Nero found himself at a critical crossroads. The fire had laid bare the fragility of his empire, both physically and politically. The road ahead was fraught with challenges, forcing Nero to confront the realities of his rule and the precarious state of his legacy. But what path would he choose? Would he heed the silent pleas of his people, seeking to heal the wounds that divided them? Or would he succumb to the whispers of discontent, plunging Rome into an abyss of despair? Only time would tell. Determined to restore order and quell the unrest, Nero embarked on a series of ambitious construction projects. Among them, the Domus Transitoria, a grand palace complex intended to replace the structures lost in the fire. But as construction dragged on, the costs spiraled, straining the imperial treasury and enraging the populace who saw the emperor's wealth as being squandered. Nero, desperate to maintain his lavish lifestyle and appease the public, resorted to selling imperial property at exorbitant discounts, further alienating his subjects who felt the true value of their heritage was being sacrificed for short-term gain. This strategy proved disastrous, accelerating the decline of Rome's infrastructure and exacerbating the socio-economic tensions that simmered beneath the surface. As the city's woes intensified, so did the criticism of Nero's wife, Poppaea Sabina. Her lavish spending and controversial behavior became a lightning rod for public anger, overshadowing the emperor's efforts to restore stability. Accusations swirled regarding her influence over Nero and the couple's notorious mistreatment of slaves. The growing animosity towards Poppaea symbolized the broader discontent brewing within the empire. And as the shadows of discontent lengthened, Nero's actions grew increasingly erratic and autocratic. Amidst the mounting pressure, Nero sought solace in the arts, pouring his energy into theatrical performances and chariot races, events that had become synonymous with his name. These spectacles, though initially popular, were seen by many as the emperor's misguided attempts to distract the populace from their real grievances. As Nero reveled in these diversions, the underlying issues plaguing Rome continued to fester, turning the city into a powder keg ready to explode. Consumed by a desire for absolute control, Nero tightened his grip on power, cracking down on potential rivals and silencing critics through exile or execution. This heavy-handed approach to governance only fueled the flames of rebellion, transforming ordinary citizens into ardent opponents of the regime. His paranoia grew, leading him to target influential figures, including the influential Stoic philosopher Seneca. The purge of Seneca and other prominent figures sent shockwaves throughout the empire, symbolizing the extent to which Nero's tyranny had spread. Fear became a pervasive presence, stifling dissent and suffocating the free exchange of ideas that had once flourished in Roman society. As the walls of Nero's palace grew higher and the city's unrest intensified, the seeds of rebellion were sown. Discontent over the fire's aftermath, Poppaea's unpopularity, and Nero's autocratic rule converged, uniting diverse groups of Romans in their opposition to the emperor. The flames of revolt ignited, setting in motion a chain of events that would challenge the very foundations of Nero's rule. But Nero was not alone in his quest for power. Conspiring against him was none other than his own mother, Agrippina the Younger. Driven by her relentless ambition and resentment towards her son's increasingly erratic behavior, she actively plotted against him, manipulating events to secure her own position of influence. Her machinations would prove pivotal, shaping the course of Nero's downfall and casting a long shadow over the Julio-Claudian dynasty. As the plot thickened, the fragile fabric of the Julio-Claudian dynasty unraveled. Nero's removal from power marked the end of an era, opening the door to a new chapter in Roman history. The consequences of his mother's actions would reverberate through the empire, setting the stage for the tumultuous reigns of future emperors and leaving an indelible mark on the Julio-Claudian legacy. The year is 68 AD, and the Roman Empire is in turmoil. Nero has met his demise and the Julio-Claudian dynasty hangs in the balance. Now, amidst the chaos, a power struggle of epic proportions unfolds as three contenders vie for the throne. The first, Vitellius, a seasoned general with ambitions of grandeur, believes his military prowess and aristocratic lineage make him the rightful heir to the throne. His supporters rally behind him, convinced he will restore stability and revive the flagging fortunes of Rome. Then there's Vespasian, a veteran ruler with a reputation for efficiency and practicality. While not directly related to the Julio-Claudians, he possesses the necessary qualities to guide the empire through troubled times and usher in a new era of prosperity. His supporters champion him as the pragmatic choice, emphasizing his ability to heal the wounds that have torn the empire asunder. But the third contender adds an unexpected twist to the narrative. It's Galba, an elderly senator with limited experience in imperial affairs. His candidacy appears as a long shot, yet his supporters argue that his wisdom and connections within the Senate give him the necessary gravitas to lead Rome. They believe that in times of crisis, a steady hand and sound judgment are what the empire needs most. As the race for the throne intensifies, each contender employs a mix of force, diplomacy, and political maneuvering to secure their position. Vitellius, drawing upon his military strength, campaigns to solidify his control over key territories. Meanwhile, Vespasian forges alliances with influential figures, leveraging their support to advance his claim to the throne. And Galba, recognizing his limitations, seeks to capitalize on the backing of the Senate, hoping their prestige will sway the scales in his favor. Yet amid this power struggle, an unexpected player emerges, the enigmatic Marcus Salvius Otho. Initially appearing as a minor player, Otho, a former governor with a taste for luxury and power, throws his hat into the ring, throwing the race for the throne into complete disarray. His entrance disrupts the existing alliances, forcing Vitellius, Vespasian, and Galba to reevaluate their strategies and contend with a new, unpredictable competitor. As the struggle for supremacy reaches its peak, the contenders face crucial decisions that will determine their fates. Vitellius, emboldened by his military might, pushes forward with aggressive campaigns, expanding his sphere of influence. Vespasian, adopting a more measured approach, focuses on building alliances and securing the loyalty of key regions. And Galba, aware of his precarious position, seeks to leverage the Senate's authority to bolster his legitimacy. Meanwhile, Otho, eager to carve out a niche for himself, forms strategic alliances and sets his sights on seizing the throne by any means necessary. But as the lines are drawn and loyalties are tested, the true cost of the power struggle becomes apparent. The civil war that ensues leaves a trail of destruction, undermining the very foundations of the Roman Empire. Cities are reduced to rubble, economies are shattered, and the lives of countless citizens are upended. The once proud legions are divided, torn between their allegiance to the crumbling Julio-Claudian dynasty and the allure of new ambitions. Amidst the chaos, the true test of leadership, resilience, and strategic brilliance unfolds as each contender strives to outmaneuver his rivals and secure the ultimate prize. In the midst of this upheaval, a new player emerges on the scene, Titus Flavius Vespasianus. Hailed as Vespasian, he brings fresh perspectives and a renewed vision for the Roman Empire. Unlike his predecessors, Vespasian recognizes the gravity of the situation and understands that restoring order and stability must be his top priority. He wastes no time in assembling a formidable team of advisors and strategists, drawing upon the best minds in the empire to tackle the daunting challenges that lie ahead. As the civil war rages on, Vespasian and his team embark on a mission to turn the tide in favor of stability and unity. Their efforts focus on several key fronts. First and foremost, they prioritize the welfare of the common people, addressing their immediate needs and providing relief where possible. They understand that winning the hearts and minds of the populace is crucial to their ultimate success. But Vespasian's plan extends beyond short-term relief.